It all depends on your vocabulary. And why you feel that way, the passage is very tough at the outset. And there's one new pattern, para-jumble. Have you seen that? That is also very challenging, time-taking, but easy to answer once you get the correct order. I would like to start with the passage. How many questions based on the passage? I think 6 questions based on comprehension and remaining questions based on vocabulary. Questions based on vocabulary easy to answer. There you should get at least 3 or 4 marks. I think 4 questions, am I right? So we'll start with the first question. This is all about artificial intelligence. I have been telling you guys, I told the other day also, 10 years down the line, how many years? 10 years down the line, you will get passages based on artificial intelligence, automation, biotechnology, genetic engineering, space technology. So you have to acquire knowledge. Once you have the base, at least you can answer some questions. What is the first question? Which of the following tells about AI exponential growth? Underline exponential growth. Exponential growth means a great growth, sudden and great. Sudden and great. To a large extent on a large scale. Sudden and on a large scale. What is the word we use? Exponential. But sometimes what happens, sudden growth of something, increase in number. Then write one idiomatic expression, mushroom growth. Louder, huh? Mushroom growth of something. It goes with institutes, companies. Imagine a lot of IT companies, mushroom growth of IT companies. A lot of engineering colleges, mushroom growth of engineering colleges, an important idiom. So the question asks about which of the following about AI exponential growth in the recent tells about. What is the first option here? I can do in 2 ways. How many of you have read the passage? Raise your hands. And to save time, usually those who don't read the passage, when I try to explain, they cannot connect. Obviously, they haven't read the passage, so it is in a way sheer waste of time. But those who have read the passage, they should not be disappointed. So option 2, I can tell the answer and you can nod your head whether you have chosen that or not. Or otherwise, I have to read every option and tell you which is the answer. Shall I tell the answer first? And we look at the explanation based on that. Here, it talks about the reason, not what tells us about the exponential growth. How many of you have chosen the 4th option? Answer is the 4th option. Automation, big data, algorithms will continue to sweep into new corners of our lives until we no longer remember how things were before. Here what happens, if you want to take risk without reading the passage, based on your awareness about AI, you can look at the options and you can select the option. That is also possible. AI is the most happening thing in the world. It is going to touch every nook and corner. It is going to make an impact on every field on a large scale. Based on that, 4 seems right or wrong. There is one expression here, sweep into new corners of our lives, unimaginable corners. And in future, because of AI, you may come across, please write this word. Already it has happened. It will happen on a large scale. What is the meaning of the word cyborg? Half machine, half human. Please write the meaning. Half machine, half human. In future, people will have chips implanted in the body. And these chips work. They catch your thoughts. Already there is one professor in the UK, one of the universities. He is considered the first cyborg of the planet Earth. He has a chip implanted in his body. Based on that, when he goes to his computer lab, without giving a command, things happen because of the chip. So in a way, he's half machine, half human. So answer is the fourth option. Shall I go to the next one? You have to respond. Question number 2. Which of the following better relates to the theme of the passage? What is the theme of the passage? It is about AI. Then it has to talk about, broadly you have to think, any passage about AI talks about, it is the most happening thing, where is it being used? One question. Second, what are the benefits, advantages, what are the disadvantages, and which country is leading, which country is lagging. These are the dimensions they touch. Is it a contribution over GDPs and SDGs? Or I will tell the answer, then we'll see. How many of you have chosen the fourth option? Answer is the fourth option. What is the fourth option here? The more we use AI, the more data we generate, and the smarter it gets. The more the better when it comes to AI. Because new models come up, new models and new innovations, new areas, it spreads like anything. Any field, when you try to use it more, especially technology, it keeps expanding and it becomes better. Answer is the fourth option. Shall I go to the next one? Or if you have chosen some other option, only a few responded. Which option have you chosen? First option, GDP, SDGs. No. Here you have to look at a broader thing. What is which option talks about the benefits or the impact of AI on a large scale? What is the fourth option here? The more we use AI, no problem. Okay. The more we use AI, the more data we generate, the smarter it gets. That is a sweeping statement on a large scale. That should be the answer. Look at the topic AI. On a large scale, it works. Question number 3. Which of the following is or are the challenges faced by artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, the passage talks about impact on environment. What is the first option here? Reducing and increased energy consumption and causing environmental impact by the data centers. Data centers generate more heat or less heat. That is good for environment or bad for environment. So how many of you have chosen the first option? Answer is the first option. No second thoughts about that. Question number 4, 5, 6, challenging. Because they have given 3 options and you have to choose the combinations. Which of the following is or are the issues that concern privacy of data, underline privacy of the data, according to the passage? First one, the algorithm's incessant quest without stopping for data has led to our digital footprints being harvested and sold without our knowledge or informed consent. You must be aware of this. Today, the way you use your mobile, it is being tracked. And based on your habits, the way you use your mobile, they generate information, and some company use that information and send the ads accordingly. Are you aware of that? So first one is right or wrong? First one is right. What is the second one here? Being constantly profiled in service of customization. They don't profile you constantly. Second one is not correct. And what is the third one here? Our level of addiction to our devices, the inability to resist looking at our phones, in which such algorithms and big data were used to alter voting decisions, should serve as a potent warning of the individual and societal concerns resulting from current AI business models. I think this has been mentioned in the passage. How many of you have chosen the fourth option, both 1 and 3? No one. No one? Okay. Let us go to, or let us consider 1 and 2. What is the second one? Have they mentioned the second one? I don't think so. The answer should be the third one. I mean 1 and 3. Next one, which of the following can be used to determine the artificial intelligence is a double-edged sword. Underline double-edged sword. Means what? It can be used for something positive. It can be used for something negative. Let us go to lacking clear policies on upskilling workers the promise of new opportunities will in fact create serious new inequalities. Hold this one. Investment is likely to shift to countries where AI-related work is already established, widening gaps among and within countries. This has been mentioned in the passage. Take the second option. The fact is, just as the AI has potential to improve billions of lives, it can also replicate and exacerbate existing problems. Underline the word exacerbate. Means to make worse. To make what? Worse. Already something is bad, you make it worse. Exacerbate, an important word. Make worse existing problems and create new ones. Third one is also right. So what is the answer here? 2 and 3. Has anyone chosen 2 and 3? No. You have chosen. Good. Which of the following can be inferred as measures to avoid misusing of artificial intelligence? AI tech companies are not alone in developing and deploying AI. Governments also do so. Only a whole of society approach to AI governance will enable us to develop broad-based ethical principles, cultures, and codes of conduct. To ensure the needed harm mitigating measures, reviews and audits during design, development, and deployment phases. So here, to avoid misusing of AI, do you think first one is right or wrong? AI tech companies are not alone in developing and deploying AI. Governments also do so. But does it talk about avoiding misusing of artificial intelligence? Only a whole of society approach to AI governance will enable us to develop broad-based ethical principles. Underline ethical principles. Means value-oriented. This can be useful or not useful. Is it a solution or not? It's a solution. Hold the second one. To ensure the needed harm mitigating. Underline the word mitigate. Mitigate means reduce. Whenever we come across this word, I give words like mitigate, alleviate. Please write all these words. They have given many a time. Assuage. All mean what? Reduce the pain or intensity, the problems. Mitigation of problems, alleviation of problems, assuage also means the same. That also seems right. So what is the answer here based on that? Do we have an option like both 2 and 3? No. And what is the fifth option here? 1, 2 and 3. But I'm not convinced with first option. But we have no option like none also. But for sure, 2 and 3 are acceptable. How many questions have we done? Now, here what happens? You have 30 questions. When you start with a passage, you cannot understand a lengthy passage, complicated passage. You should not panic. But the first thing you have to remember. And you should not attempt immediately. You should always attempt multiple choice questions first. At the fag end of the session, passage. You all know that. Again, passage, you should not touch the questions based on comprehension. That way, a passage like this takes a lot of time. You have to touch multiple choice questions based on the passage. 1 to 6, based on comprehension, time taking, difficult. Because this is an explanation session, we have spent time. In the exam, you may not get so much time. Then how many questions you have to ignore? 6 questions. Chances are very less to answer. Now we'll go to other questions based on the passage. Find the most suitable synonym for the bold word jeopardy. Jeopardy means, write the word jeopardy, write the meaning. Threaten. To put in danger. Also write the word dangerous. For dangerous, what is a synonym? Precarious. We have got many a time. Dangerous, precarious, jeopardy, all mean the same. What do they want, synonym or antonym? They want synonym. What is the first one? Jeopardy is a positive word or a negative word? Please respond. A negative word. Assurance is a positive word. Certainty, in a way, positive. Guilty is a negative word. Surety, positive word. But here, precarious means what? Dangerous. Jeopardy means dangerous. So what is the answer? Fifth option is the answer. This is an easy one. Anyone who is preparing for bank exams should know the word jeopardy. That way it is an easy question. What is the next one? Antonym of tame. First of all, how many of you know the word tame? Tame means to control. We have two types of animals. First one, domestic animals. Domestic animals are tamed. Means what? We can control them. And what is the other group? Wild animals. We cannot control. Domestic animals can be controlled, tamed, can be tamed. Have you got the meaning? They want the opposite. What is the first word here? Tractable. Tractable, underline, amenable, underline, both are synonyms. Means controllable. Also write the word flexible. Also write the word pliant. Also write can be moldable. They all mean the same. Someone can be controlled, molded. Someone is flexible, someone is pliant. Important words. Moldable, flexible, pliant. And what is the word in the question? Tractable, important word. Amenable, important word. Are they the opposite? No, synonyms. They want the antonym. Don't consider these two. Interesting, does it go with this context? There are a few problems with the key. Okay, it is not the relevant word. Harness, write the meaning of the word harness. Harness, one of the meanings, extract, to take out. Also write to tap, T-A-P. And write the combinations, harness, potential, harness, resources. Harness your potential means what? Use your potential, bring out your potential. Harness your resources, tap the resources. I hope you guys are listening. An important word, harness, but does it go with its context? No. What is the answer? Someone is afraid, you can control. Someone is not afraid, can you control? You cannot control. Based on that, what is the answer here? Unafraid. Not exactly, but other words cannot be considered. Actually, tame, opposite cannot be tamed. In a way, wild and unafraid, not easy to control. Next one. What is the word that goes with the blank? This is again quite challenging. There is a problem with the key. First you write the meaning of the word beseech. Beseech means beg, urge, request. All these words. Beg, not literally begging, requesting. Beg, urge, request, beseech. And what is the second word here? Behave. Behave means duty or obligation. Someone's duty or someone's obligation. You are supposed to do something. And what is the next word here? Beseem. Beseem means a fit. F-I-T, fit. Fit, appropriate, something that goes with something else. Based on the meanings, what are the other words here? He is responsible, impart. Impart means give. That's an important word. I'll give the combination. Generally it goes with impart, knowledge, Please write the combinations, very important. Impart knowledge, impart values, impart ethics. They have imparted ethics, means values. They gave values, impart knowledge. Masters, what do? They impart knowledge. What is the answer here? Sentence talks about what? Where is the sentence? In a world where the algorithm is king, it requests us, begs us, urges us to remember that it is still humans with all our biases and prejudices, conscious and unconscious, who are responsible for it. So what is the right word here? First option is the answer. Has anyone, the key says the second option, no. Answer is the first option. Has anyone selected the first option? Not easy, that's a bit difficult. The next one, choose the correct phrase that is similar to on the cusp. On the cusp means on the edge of something. For that we also say on the verge of something. So what is the answer? It is not at the bottom. It is not in between the teeth. On the verge, hold this one. On the limit, not correct. In the center, not correct. How many of you have chosen the third option? On the verge of, on the cusp of. Same meaning. Passage over. We'll go to pillars. The unrealistic one-order-fits-all approach, the distress, underline the word distress. Distress means what? To be in a sad state, sorrow state, or unfortunate situation, experience pain, anguish. The distress as a new feature of educational institutions. Established something, seems right. Can you use the word permanent? The unrealistic one-order-fits-all approach, established. It grammatically, you need a verb, and it should be in the past form or past participle. But permanent, is it a verb? Adjective, not correct. Vested. Here we are talking about educational institutions and some problem. If you have to use the word vested, you need the preposition with. Vested with. Do you see the preposition with here? No, so you cannot consider the word vested. That is one thing you have to know. But write the one more combination, please write. Vested interest. They have vested interests, means selfish interests. They have some ulterior motive, vested interest. Company does something, apparently it looks positive, but someone may say, no, the company has vested interest, means some selfish motive. Have you got the meaning? That's a negative word actually, but sometimes it goes with power. Vested with power means the person got the power. Ingrained, the distress, you can consider this. Entrenched, you can consider this. Entrenched means deeply established. Entrenched, deeply established, deep-rooted. But usage point of view here, nothing wrong with the word established. Answer is the fifth option, no change required. The unrealistic one-order-fits-all approach established the distress as a new feature of educational institution. Perfect. This approach is directionally with India. Underline the preposition with. Can you say dependable with India? Is it grammatically correct? No. Invariable with India? Grammatically not correct. Consistent takes which preposition? Consistent with something. Of also you can say. With also you can say. Hold a second option. Can you say expected with? Mark it wrong. Homogeneous with. This approach, what are we talking about approach? This approach is directionally homogeneous with India moving towards net zero. Does not make any sense. So what is the answer? This approach is directionally consistent with India moving towards net zero, which should be our long-term objective. Now it makes sense contextually, grammatically. How many of you have chosen consistent with? Perfect. India can leverage, first underline the word leverage. That's an important word. And when it comes to banks, they use this quite often. Write the meaning. Leverage, it has 2 or 3 meanings in this context. To make maximum, write the complete word, to make maximum advantage of something. Or to use something to the extent possible. You take maximum from something, you to make maximum advantage of something, to use something to the extent possible and get benefited. An important word. India can leverage this alteration too as an opportunity to become a global leader in production of clean appliances. Context talks about, usually when it comes to change is inevitable. Every 10 years, every 20 years, lifestyle changes, and change is what is the other word for change? Transition. And when it comes to technology, today's technology after 5 years, it becomes obsolete. New technology comes up. If you understand this context, what is the very first word here? Transition. Hold that one. This evolution, you cannot use the word evolution based on the context and usage. Conversion, no. Metastasis is a medical term. Metastasis means if you take cancer cells, initially in this part of the body, later they shift to another part. That is known as metastasis, not relevant here. What is the answer? First option, transition. India can leverage this transition too as an opportunity to become a global leader in production of clean appliances. How many of you have chosen the first option? Good. Now we have come across. I am sure you guys are waiting for this. What is this about? It is about parajumble new model. What are you supposed to do here? First you have to look at the words in bold, and some parts are not in the correct position. You have to look for swapping. How many pairs you can swap. First you have to do that. Are you guys listening? Once you do that, you have to get the correct order of the paragraph. Let us go with the first dimension. A, do you see anything in bold? You have to respond. No. Let us go to B. Artificial intelligence, AI, the ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robot to have attained the performance levels. Does it seem right or wrong? Hold that one. Then you look at the second one. Robot 2 has the ability. Is it grammatically correct? 2 has the ability. Grammatically not correct. Don't consider second part. Third part. 2 perform tasks commonly associated. And underline the word with. What is the combination here associated with? If you know that, you can feel damn sure. That means which 2 parts can be changed? 1 and 3. First, hold that one. Then we look at other parts. And what is the next one here? Still, despite continuing advances in computer processing, speed and memory capacity, there are as yet no programs that can match human flexibility over wider domains. Nothing wrong with this contextually. So that artificial intelligence in this limited sense is found at. There's a question on that. And hold that one. Now let us go to the questions. Or before we go to the questions, you have to get the correct order. What is this about? Answer my question. When you read all the parts, you have to ask the question, what is this about? It is about AI. Which option talks about AI, the definition? Answer, the first one is B. Please make a note. B is the first one. The term artificial intelligence, the ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. Here, artificial intelligence, it's a term, it's a concept. And what is the second one? The term is frequently used. What is C here? Underline the term. The term represents what? AI. So what is the second one here? The term is, you have to respond. The term is frequently applied to the project of developing systems endowed with, gifted with intellectual processes, characteristic of humans, such as the ability to reason and discover meaning. That part we don't have to touch. Now third one is a bit difficult. How many of you have chosen A as a third one? No one. The third sentence is A. It talks about, since the development of the digital computer in the 1940s, it has been demonstrated that computers can be programmed to carry out very complex tasks. But next one you can get. How can you get? What is the next one? Tell me. BCA over, what is the next one? Still, though it talks about something, still we haven't reached the peak. Based on that, here, E is the fourth one. Still, despite continuing advances in computer processing, speed and memory capacity, there are as yet no programs that can match human flexibility over wider domains or in tasks requiring everyday knowledge. And what is the next one? You are left with D and F. D is the next one. On the other hand, some programs perform tasks commonly associated, commonly, what is the word we have replaced? First part. What is the first part here? Commonly, is it have attained the performance levels. On the other hand, some programs have attained the performance levels of human experts and professionals in performing certain specific tasks. It talks about first AI definition, then the significance of the term, then it talks about the historical backdrop. A talks about from the beginning, but still we haven't reached the final stage. Despite the changes, we are on the way. At the same time, some progress has been made. On the other hand, D is the next one. And what is the last one? What are you left with? F is the last one. Has anyone got this order? B, C, A, E, D, F. This is difficult. You may ask why. Here there is every possibility you may start with A. What is the reason? Tell me. Usually when you talk about something, you talk about the historical backdrop. Yes or no? And you may think A is the first one, E is the second one, and D is the third one. But you cannot place it properly. That's why I said, I always tell, when you read a paragraph, you have to ask the question, what is this about? What is the answer that you get? AI. So where do you find the concept of AI? B has a concept. And after that, everything falls in place. Shall we go to the questions now? Which of the following has to be interchanged to make all the sentences grammatically correct and meaningful? So what is the answer here? Third option, only 1 and 3 can be changed. This is easy to answer. See what happens here, one more thing. Passage you cannot answer all. Be optimistic, look for those you can answer. This also how many questions? 5 questions. And whether you get the order or not, some you can answer. First one you can answer or not. Let us go to the next one. Which of the following should be second sentence? What is the second sentence here? C is the second sentence. Next one. Excuse me. What is the last sentence? F is the last sentence. Which of the following can replace the part of the statement given in italics? If you go to F, what are the 2 words in italics? Found at. Found at or found in? So here found at is not correct. Found in. Something found in applications as diverse as. It is based on your knowledge related to prepositional combinations. So what is the answer here? Fourth option. For that you don't have to know the order. Third sentence. What is the third sentence we got here? A is the third sentence. I think 3 questions based on the correct order and 2 questions not based on the order. That means 2 you can answer. Every time you come across this is a tough paper. If you panic, if you don't try to be smart while taking the test, you will end up with a single digit. But if you are a little smart and you try to extract easy questions from each model, then eventually you may get between 10 and 15. That is good enough. Only if you can get a paper like this. What are these about? Time-taking, challenging, some you cannot understand, but a few are easy. You see the first part one part in bold, that is right or wrong? It is correct. Then remaining 4 parts, 1 part is correct, 3 parts have errors. That means each part you have to check or you don't have to check. You have to check. Let us check. You have to respond. Be ready to respond. America retains a strong individualist cultural streak. It is in bold, you don't have to touch that. With a skepticism, underline the word skepticism. Skepticism means, skeptic means doubt, doubting something. Doubt. Of central power that is, or that has held us in, see here what I'm going to do. Every part, 3 parts have errors. And those 3 parts, I will tell you which word is not correct. From that you can eliminate that part. Here, hold something in good stead. That's an idiomatic expression. Hold something in good stead means to keep someone in a good position when the person is in distress. Based on that, there is an error here. Good stead. What is the right word here? Holds us in good stead. That means C is right or wrong. I said you have to respond. Wrong. Mark it wrong. And that have or has long served. We are talking about only one thing. Then have or has, mark it wrong. D is also wrong. Bulwark means a wall. Something that is very strong, a wall, a fort. Bulwark of concentrated power. Bulwark is an important word. Please write the meaning. Bulwark means a wall or a fort, something that protects you. It goes with defense. And here bulwark on is not correct. Bulwark of concentrated power of all kinds. So here E is also wrong. Your job is what? Find out the part that has no error. So what is the answer here? Please respond. B is the answer. There is no error in B. Question number 20. The American media is now convulse, to shake violently. Write the meaning. To shake violently. Also write the word agitate. To shake violently or to agitate because of anger, laughter, fear, any of these. Over questions of speech, important fights with real stakes, particularly when it comes. There is an error here. C is not correct. Particularly when it comes to the decision made with and from, made for and by the giant tech platforms. That means that D is right or wrong. E is right or wrong. Which part has no error? B has no error. Again, answer is what? B. Over questions of speech, important, nothing wrong over there. A spokeswoman for the advertising giant Omnicom said the company, which had already required, mark it wrong, all US employees to get vaccinated if they wanted, to working in person or to work in person. and B is wrong here, D is wrong. Was currently evaluating the newly mandate or the new mandate. See, if you don't respond, whom am I talking to? I'm giving a choice. Then you should be able to respond. Mandate is a noun. Will you say new mandate or newly mandate? New mandate. That means it's right or wrong? Wrong. That means E is wrong, D is wrong, and what is the other one I marked wrong? B. Employees to get vaccinated if they want it. Nothing wrong. So what is the answer here? C is the answer. One group of worker or one group of workers. Mark it wrong. That has been left out is the transit workers who are not required to get vaccinated, so their employer. This is a bit challenging. Here we are talking about one group. Then will you say their employer or its employer? So mark there wrong. Group's employer, its employer. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority is overseen by Governor Kathy Hochul. Here is overseen, present tense, passive voice, nothing wrong. Who has declined or declining? That means E is wrong, C is wrong, and A is wrong. What is the answer here? D is correct. Transportation Authority is overseen by Governor some person. What is the answer based on that? A new map emerging from an independent citizens. This is a bit challenging. A new map emerging from an independent citizens. A redistricting commission was mostly not correct. Underline that. Certain to flip it from a district, Mr. Trump. One hand to one president. Again, it is not clear. We don't know what the context, but grammatically, it is not correct. Biden would have won. Underline this. Here, perhaps a new map is emerging. Emerging or is emerging? A new map is emerging. So, there is an error here. A is not correct. And B is not correct. Was mostly, not a mostly. One hand to one president does not make any sense whatsoever. So what is the word, which part is not, there is no problem. Biden would have won. We don't know the exact context, but do you see any error? Biden would have won. Nothing wrong. Answer is E. This is a bit difficult, mind you. How many questions based on that model? And again, you got to be a little smart. Of these questions, keep aside the passage, keep aside the parajumble. They should be taken to the fag end of the session. And the questions we have just worked on should also be taken to the fag end of the session. The last three topics, you have to work on grammar-based question, multiple errors. Then you have to work on parajumble. Then you have to go to the passage. Do you understand? But you can also try to answer, if you're good at vocabulary, passage questions based on multiple choice. You can do that. What are these about? There is a word in bold, and you have to find out antonym will be synonym, and the latter will be antonym. First is synonym, then antonym. Culmination means what? To reach the final stage. Write the meaning. To reach the final stage, or to reach the peak. Peak, you can also say apex. To reach the peak or to reach the apex. Final stage. Final stage means end or beginning. End. Conclusion or introduction. What is the first one here? Culmination has nothing to do with perfection. So not the answer. What is the second pair? Conclusion, opposite, beginning. Maximum, minimum, not relevant. peak, but the word limit is not correct. It is not the opposite. So you cannot consider. So what is the answer here? Second option, conclusion, opposite, beginning. For days we begged him to see a doctor about his cough, and finally he relented. First you write one word, a combination, an important combination. It goes with you people. Relentless efforts. You people have been putting in relentless efforts. Means what? Without stopping, continuous efforts, without a break, relentless efforts. Does it go with you people or not? Yes, you have been putting in a lot of efforts, relentless efforts. It's a positive thing. I'm trying to praise you people. So, moderate, mild. But in the context it means, for days we begged him to see a doctor about his cough. And finally he relented means what? He accepted. He agreed to see the doctor. Yes or no? Can you use moderate and mild here? Mark it wrong. Comply means what? Accept, hold that one. What is opposite? Refuse. That also goes with this. Wane means slowly disappear. Slowly disappear or get reduced in size. And waning goes with what? There is a typical combination. Moon. When we talk about moon, we use the word waning. Slowly become smaller, smaller, smaller. Not relevant here. Hold, loosen, not relevant. So what is the answer? Finally he agreed. He complied. And what is opposite? Refuse. These questions, a new pattern, easy or difficult? For whatever question I have been asking, you are not responding. Easy, difficult. Only two words. Tell me. How many of you say easy? How many of you say difficult? They are easy actually. You may ask why. Please remember, mains level, prelims also sometimes a paper like this. They test, I told yesterday also, old wine in a new bottle. Means what? Basic knowledge you should have. You should be good at English. Then the model does not matter. Here they say, you have to find one word either misspelled or inappropriate. That is one dimension. What is the other dimension? You have to get the correct order. If you look at the order, you are wasting your time. If you look at the spelling, then based on the options, within no time you can get the answer. Then they become easy. They are difficult, they are easy, based on how you handle the question. Now answer my question, we'll go with the spelling first. According to information, anything wrong? Forget about the order. I'm talking about the spelling part. Anything wrong with information? Anything wrong with domain? Anything wrong with average? Anything wrong with administered? Yes. What is the spelling of administered? Please write. Administered. This is the spelling. The given spelling is right or wrong? Mark it wrong. Once you know the spelling of administered, which is rather easy, question becomes damn easy. Why? How many options you have with the word administrated? The wrong spelling. Only one option, that is your answer. Now easy or difficult? No replacement required. And what is the word that has been misspelled? Administered. Imagine, had they given in 2 or 3 options the word administrated, then a tough question. But only one option with that word administrated, wrong spelling. Common sense, is that your answer or not? Do you have to look at other options? Now, if you follow this, second 27, anything wrong with economy? Please respond. These are easy questions, you can respond. Significant? And average, no. What is the spelling of emissions? E-M-I-S-S-I-O-N-S. There is a spelling mistake, emissions. How many options with emissions? Please respond for God's sake. That is your answer. How many options with emissions? That is your answer. And you don't even have to check what is the order here, A, B, D, C. If you still check, you're wasting your time. That is height of foolishness. Do you understand what I say? Once you know the spelling of emissions, an easy question, a damn easy question. Damn easy question. It all depends on to what extent you're good at spelling. And all these are simple words. Tell me what is the spelling of competitiveness. People make a mistake here. Perhaps this is a bit challenging. Competitive. T-I-T-I-V-E. Competitiveness. But what is the spelling they have given? Wrong spelling. How many options with competitiveness? Only one option? Oh, they have given the word competitiveness correct spelling or wrong spelling. What is the spelling they have given? T-E. But what is the correct spelling? T-I. So wrong spelling they have given. How many options with competitiveness? What is your answer? That is your answer. Simple. 29. Oh, that set is over. Sometimes what happens, they look complicated, they look difficult. Sitting here, I may say they are easy, but when you take the actual exam, they may trouble you. It all depends on your mindset. Do remember, whether it is a mock test or the actual exam, what matters is your mindset. Once you are disturbed, the whole session goes off. That should never happen. You should not allow that to happen. Sometimes what happens, 10 questions very difficult. Today you have seen the passage tough, parajumble tough, then you get disturbed or you don't get disturbed. But still you have to remain positive. Passage, how many questions? 10. Parajumble, how many questions? 15 gone. You have to keep telling yourself, still 15 questions are there. And still another 5 tough. You have to tell yourself, still 10 questions are there. And you have worked on those 10 questions also. You could answer in the first round about 7. Don't panic. Tell yourself, if this paper is tough, it is tough for everyone. In a competitive exam, it is relative. Always remember. Easy paper, cutoff could be 12. Moderate paper, cutoff could be 10. A tough paper, what could be the cutoff? It's all relative. You should be better than others. Others mess up the paper, you don't mess up. Who will get more marks? You will get. You will get the selection. Do you understand what I say? Easy or tough? Actually, those who go prepared, they want a tough paper. Do you know the mindset? Imagine you have spent 1 year. I have spent 6 months. And they have given an easy paper. Do you have any advantage? No. You spent 1 year, I spent 6 months. They gave a tough paper. Who has the advantage? I have the advantage or you have the advantage? Always a serious candidate looks for a tough paper in a competitive exam because only a few can answer. Easy paper, every Tom, Dick and Harry can answer. Then the cutoff goes up. That is not good for you. Cutoff should always come down, and those with the right preparation, they will get a good score, they will get the job. Please remember that. Never panic. What are these about? One word and usage, right or wrong. You all know the word fraud, fraudulent. Positive or negative? Negative. The study claims that violence on television fraudulent the mind of children. Spoil the mind of children. We cannot use the word fraudulent. Wrong. Most of the data on the hard drive went fraudulent. Data, we don't use the word. On its own, it does not go fraudulent. Mark it wrong. The hotel even has fraudulent Japanese garden. At the outset, grammatically not correct. It does not make any sense whatsoever. And fraudulent Japanese garden, the hotel even as fraudulent Japanese garden does not make any sense. So what is the answer here? Fifth option is the answer. Next one is rather easy. Possessive. Possess has many meanings. Possess means what? Own something, have something. I have a car, I own a car, I possess a car. They all mean the same. But possessive has a different meaning. Possess has another meaning. Do you guys see English movies? Yes, sir. No, sir. English movies, they have taken a lot of movies on ghosts, spirits. A ghost enters a girl's body. Usually girls, we don't know why. The girl behaves in an odd way, unpredictable behavior, sometimes violent. Then you say she is possessed. She is possessed means what? There is a ghost in her body, a different meaning altogether. And the possessive nature, it goes with youngsters and a newlywed couple, lovers and newlywed couple. The boy talks to a girl, the girl becomes another girl. His girlfriend becomes restless. The wife talks to a man, the husband becomes restless. Why? What is that called? Possessive nature. You all know that word. He is pretty possessive about his iPod. I wouldn't dare to ask to borrow it. Right or wrong? Perfect. Her boyfriend was getting too possessive. I give the same example. So she finished with him. She broke up. So, nothing wrong. I have possessed the property. Does not sound right. I have possessed the property would have been right. So mark it wrong. So what is the answer here? Both 1 and 2.